The stock market has officially gone insane. Welcome to my channel, guys. My name is Domenico. Today we're going to be discussing Corsair Gaming earnings and how their stock reacted during the market. This makes absolutely no sense. The market has gone crazy, and this presents a potentially fantastic buying opportunity for long-term investors. So let's get into the earnings right here, and then let's discuss what's happening to the actual stock and why this is happening. The headline numbers here, we have earnings per share, adjusted earnings per share of 58 cents a share versus 33 cents expected. So that's almost a double up of what was expected from Corsair. And then if we look at the top line, the revenue numbers, they were at 529.4 million versus 449.7 million. That's like almost an $80 million beat on the top line and almost a double up on the bottom line. So revenue, fantastic, number one. EPS, fantastic, number one. So how about guidance? Maybe guidance, there was something wrong with guidance. Well, let's go into that. So net revenues were actually 529.4 million. That was an increase of 71.6% year over year. However, if we go more in depth and we look at the peripheral segment, which is what they're best known for, it had a net revenue of 176 million, an increase of 131.9% over year. That is phenomenal. So growth rates have been crazy for the company in the past year, of course, because of coronavirus. They cater to the gaming industry, the gamers, and because people are locked in at home, again, obviously, a lot of people have been playing games over the past year, so year-over-year numbers will be incredible, and this has been expected for the company. Now, gross profit was $160.3 million, which was an increase of 103.9% year-over-year, and the gross margin was 30.3%. That came in very, very good, okay? And that was an improvement of 480 basis points. So basically, gross margins are going up, gross profits going up, revenues up, EPS up. So far, so good. So the gamer and creator peripheral segment had a gross profit of 68.9 million, which was an increase of 211.1% year over year. Phenomenal. And gaming components and system segment had a gross profit of 91.5 million, which is an increase of 61.9% year over year. Again, phenomenal numbers so far, right? Then we look at the operating income. This one, phenomenal, right? Operating income of 67.3 million, which was an increase of 404.5% year over year. Mind-blowing numbers right here, okay? Mind-blowing. So just by looking at these numbers so far, you would think the stock is up massively, at least 10 to 15%, if not 20-25% after these kind of numbers. These are insane numbers. You don't see numbers like this very often. Then you have adjusted operating income of 80.4 million, which is an increase of 221% year over year. Net income was 46.7 million compared to net income of 1.2 million last year. That's like a 45x of net income year over year. Insane. Margins are getting better. Obviously, they're benefiting from the economies of scale for sure as they continue growing. And then we have adjusted Ebitda of 80.4 million, an increase of 196.6%, and a margin of 15.2%, which is an improvement of 640 basis points. So margins, in terms of gross margins, EBITDA margins, they're all getting fantastically better. And then if we look at the cash levels, of course, they increased their cash levels, decreased their debt. They have 125.6 million in cash right now, and they do have 294.3 million in debt. And cash flows were increased by 2 million from the same period last year at 27.8 million. So again, this performance right here, these earnings that just came out are phenomenal for the company. So again, you would think that the stock is up big time, right? Looking at the guidance for full year 2021, the net revenue is expected to be from 1.8 to 1.95 billion. They raised that to 1.9 to 2.1 billion. So revenue guidance up. Now, adjusted operating income guidance, it was 205 to 220 million. They increased that to 235 to 255 million. Big boost there on the guidance for operating income. So again, check mark there. And adjusted EBITDA guidance, it was 215 to 230 million. They increased that to 245 to 265 million. So again, big boost there in adjusted EBITDA guidance for 2021. So Number one, we had phenomenal actual earnings. So the revenue was up, EPS was up, margins were up, everything was up basically, and the growth rates were incredible. Then we look at the guidance. I mean, net revenue boosted, adjusted operating income boosted, adjusted EBITDA boosted. So guidance increased, so that's phenomenal for the company. And then we might say, okay, well, maybe something happened during the conference call, or maybe something management said made investors feel uneasy about the company. Well, this is not actually the case. If we look at the actual, the way that the management was actually speaking about these earnings, this is the CEO. He says, "We are thrilled with our first quarter financial performance and strategic progress. End demand remains strong for our products, and our new products, such as the K65 Mini RGB keyboard and Elgato's new accessories, debuted well. We introduced 29 new products in the first quarter." Mind-blowing, right? And we expect this blistering pace of new product introduction to continue throughout the year, with several brand new products still to come. Supplies of key components remain tight, but we have been able to support our plans and will continue to work on this issue for the rest of the year. Now, something that has been happening in this segment of the industry is there have been supply shortages in terms of the actual chips they need to make their products. There have been chip shortages, and this has impacted a lot of industries, including the car industry, the semiconductor industry, and also the gaming industry. So that's what they're saying here. They're saying that supply has been tight, but they have been able to manage that, and they're going to continue to manage it going forward. Again, they introduced a bunch of new products. This is something I really love about the company. They're very forward-looking, and they're not trying to stay stagnant. They're looking to grow further into the future and increase their market share rather than simply staying stagnant. So this is very important for a growth company such as Corsair. Now, again, you look at what else he says. He says, as a result of our stronger than expected first quarter performance and our current views for the rest of the year, we raised our 2021 annual guidance. This is very important, okay? So listen what he says. And our current views for the rest of the year. Now, why has Corsair been trading at sort of a discount? We're going to look at all the metrics later on in the video, but Corsair is in the gaming industry. And now that the economy is starting to open back up again, people, or investors specifically, and analysts are expecting people to game less, okay? And this is why Corsair might be trading at a discount to how people would think they should be trading at, given that their current growth rates are incredible. And the way management is speaking about their future growth, it doesn't look like it's going to slow anytime soon. It will slow definitely from the pandemic. However, it's not going to be negative. A lot of analysts and other investors have believed that Corsair will struggle because all that demand for gaming products was pulled forward. However, the way I'm thinking about it is I don't think gaming is going anywhere anytime soon. I don't think people are going to be gaming less in the future just because they were gaming in the pandemic. I mean, yes, obviously if people are home, they're going to be gaming more. However, this doesn't mean that they're not going to be gaming in the future. There might have been people that might not have gamed before the pandemic. They began gaming during the pandemic, and now they will continue to game throughout their entire lives. So I do think that the pandemic was a help for Corsair. I do think that this pull forward demand will definitely, the growth rates cannot be sustained at these kind of levels. I mean, increasing by 150% year over year, like that's mind-blowing. That's a once in a generation opportunity for the company, that they were in the right place at the right time for this pandemic. But I don't see growth rates in general being negative anytime soon, or at least very low. I mean, I'm still expecting huge growth for the company in the future. So now let's actually look into the statistics of the company and their actual valuation metrics. So if we go to Corsair, the actual stock, we can see that in the day, they're actually down almost 6%. After reporting these kind of numbers, for a stock to be down 6%, that's absolutely mind-blowing. A company that reports these kind of numbers with beating actual earnings, beating on guidance and raising forward guidance, and management speaking phenomenally about the company and how they're continuing to innovate and they're managing the supply shortages and they're doing everything perfectly, the stock should at least be up 5 to 10%, if not 15 to 20, 25% even. These were phenomenal earnings. They crushed these earnings. So if a stock like this that crushes earnings this big can't even be flat, it's down 6%. And it's not like something was incredible was said during the earnings call. There wasn't. Really, this is all that happened. They beat on everything. Management was super confident in the company, and yet the stock falls 6%. Now, why would this happen? Well, the actual market itself is down over 1%. The S&P 500 is down over 1%. The Dow is down 0.4%. And most importantly for Corsair is the NASDAQ. It's down 2.6% almost at this point. So definitely the market has been pushing on Corsair. If this would have been a normal day, I'm sure Corsair would have been up. However, the market is in a tough spot right now, especially with tech and smaller companies, smaller market cap. Of course, Corsair is just a $2.9 billion market cap. It's a very small company in terms of the entire market at large. So it might be getting beaten down for that specific reason. But if we look at the statistics here, I mean, just looking at the numbers here, so you have a $2.9 billion market cap with a forward PE of 17.4. Now, keep in mind, this is a growth company. This is a company that's continuing to grow and innovate into the future. And it has a brand name like Elgato and Corsair in their gaming equipment side that they're world renowned, right? Elgato, if you're a streamer, you definitely know Elgato. Elgato is the prime brand in terms of streaming and in terms of capture cards, right? And then Corsair, that's like the premium end of all those, the gaming products, the gaming accessories, the mice, the keyboards, the headphones, all that stuff. This is the premium brand when it comes to this specific industry. And they're trading at a 17.4 PE or forward PE. Now, some people might say, okay, well, 17.4, it's not that low. However, it is. And anything lower than really a 20 forward P for a growth company is a phenomenal deal. However, I do think that this forward P is still wrong because analysts do have their numbers low. And I do think that analysts are going to have to raise their numbers given that this guidance was raised and substantially raised, actually, in some cases raising it by 10% for this fiscal year. I do believe that forward PE is probably now going to be around 15 to 16 and a half. Keep in mind, this is a company that's growing at a phenomenal pace, right? Just this year, they've been growing at 100 to 150%. Of course, you can say yes, but that's because of the pandemic. But analysts only have them growing revenue at 12% in 2021. They have an estimate of 1.9 billion in revenue. With this new guidance, they're going to have to raise their estimates. Growth, I believe, is going to be anywhere between 20 and 30% this year, even with the pandemic behind us. And as the economy slowly reopens and all that demand being pulled forward, I still believe Corsair is going to grow massively in the future. People are not stopping to game anytime soon, and gaming is just growing in popularity from here. I mean, go find me a younger kid that is not gaming. Honestly, it's near impossible to find nowadays, especially. And then EPS, they're increasing margins substantially, and even in a supply shortage time like this, to be able to grow margins as they have been doing is great, because usually when you have shortages, prices go up, and you make less money on your actual products that you're selling. However, this is not the case for Corsair. Corsair increased their margins substantially, actually, by 480 basis points when it comes to gross profit. That's phenomenal. 30.3% gross profit margins is incredible. So what do I think about this company? Well, number one, earnings were phenomenal, okay? Number two, guidance was phenomenal. And then management, the way they spoke about the actual earnings, the guidance, and the actual standing of the company was phenomenal. Something else I like that Corsair is doing is they're decreasing their debt. Now, they have been thinking about paying down debt slowly as they go on because, again, it is a profitable company, and they do have a net debt level, meaning they have more debt than they do in cash. And I always like to have more cash than debt because it just makes the company more safe in the event that anything extraordinary happens, like a COVID-19. Now, they are paying off debt, and this is a phenomenal thing for the company and for the future of the company, because as they slowly pay down debt, they're going to have a lot less interest payments, and they're going to become a lot more profitable. Now, another thing that I really do enjoy about the company is that Wall Street is overlooking them. It's a smaller market cap, so it doesn't get as much attention as some of the the big companies. And this can be a phenomenal opportunity for investors. A lot of the times, when you're looking at a smaller market cap company, this is where the big opportunities lie, because a lot of analysts are overlooking the company. When a company is 500, 600, 700, $1 trillion, you don't have really anyone that's not looking at that company. However, when you're a $2.9 billion company, it's very possible for Wall Street to miss this. And these earnings literally, they don't make sense for the stock to be down 6%. It doesn't at all. There is no rationale behind the stock being down as big as it is with the type of earnings that they came out with, the type of guidance, everything. And apart from the market being down on its own. When you're an individual stock picker, you don't really care about what the market does, right? The market could be down, the market could be up, but if you buy a fantastic company, in the long run, it's gonna go up. It's gonna follow the fundamentals. So in Corsair Gaming's case, the fundamentals are there. They're executing phenomenally. They're introducing new products every single quarter. And they're not staying stagnant anytime soon. So this is a growth company that's extremely profitable, that's getting even more profitable, and that management is really doing everything right at this point. And I believe that the fundamentals basically support Corsair Gaming becoming a $50 to $70 stock in the next 2 to 5 years. This is not a stock that should be in the low 30s, and it actually dipped into the 20s a few weeks ago. This is a phenomenal opportunity, and I am definitely buying more Corsair here. These earnings are phenomenal. The market is completely misjudging this company. This is a growth company, a growth beast, and it's not going to be slowing down anytime soon. Honestly, the growth rates for this company will be phenomenal for years and years to come in the future. So let me know what you guys think about this company, the earnings they reported, and the valuation of the company currently on the market down below in the comment section. I hope you really enjoyed the video. I hope this was really insightful for you. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like down below and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this in the future, as well as clicking that notification bell so YouTube notifies you when I post a new video. But apart from that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video.